What were the effects of Glasnost? Have you ever wondered how a policy aimed at openness could change an entire nation? Glasnost, which means openness, was introduced by Mikhail Gorbachev in the mid-1980s. This policy aimed to increase transparency and freedom of information within the Soviet Union. It sought to reduce censorship and encourage public criticism, all while exposing government inefficiencies and corruption. The goal was to revitalize the communist system through reform, but the effects were far-reaching and complex. One major effect of Glasnost was increased transparency and public awareness. With many restrictions on the media lifted, citizens learned about issues that had been hidden for years. Problems like government corruption and economic difficulties were now in the open. This newfound awareness exposed the gap between the privileges of party officials and the struggles of ordinary people. As a result, public distrust in the government and the Communist Party grew. Another significant effect was the encouragement of political criticism and self-criticism. For the first time in Soviet history, citizens could openly criticize government officials and party privileges. While this was meant to strengthen the party by addressing its flaws, it ultimately weakened the authority of the ruling elite. The exposure of widespread abuses and inequalities led to a loss of legitimacy for those in power. Glasnost also destabilized Soviet politics in unexpected ways. The policy allowed for open discussions about ethnic and regional grievances, fueling nationalist movements within the Soviet republics. This contributed to the momentum for independence movements, which played a role in the eventual dissolution of the Soviet Union. Gorbachev's own role was undermined as the increased openness revealed systemic failures that could not be easily fixed. The impact of Glasnost extended beyond the Soviet Union to Eastern Europe. The spirit of openness inspired demands for political reform and greater freedoms in communist countries across the region. It challenged the unquestioned obedience that had characterized these regimes, leading to the weakening and eventual collapse of communist governments. Culturally, Glasnost allowed the public to revisit and discuss previously taboo subjects, including dark chapters in Soviet history. This reexamination eroded the myth of an infallible communist state and encouraged a more critical view of the past. Initially, Glasnost was seen as a necessary step toward achieving a better form of communism. It aimed to promote openness and self-correction within the party and society. However, the unintended consequences showed that while openness could empower citizens, it could also destabilize entrenched systems resistant to change. For communism in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, Glasnost marked a turning point that ultimately led to the end of communist dominance in the region.